Script. On a quiet summer day, Rachel Winters disappeared. A vibrant 27-year-old, she was known for her infectious smile and passion for photography. Rachel was last seen on June 5, 2023, near her apartment in Portland, Oregon. It was a typical morning. She was headed to a local park to take landscape photos. Friends reported she seemed excited, as it was a beautiful day. Rachel left her apartment around 9 a.m. She mentioned to her roommate that she would be back by noon, but hours passed, and Rachel never returned. Her roommate became concerned and called her friends. They tried reaching her on her phone, but there was no answer. Rachel was always prompt. She was not the type to leave others worried. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, anxiety set in. The hours stretched painfully. By 5 p.m., her friends decided it was time to alert the authorities. They reported her missing. The search began immediately. Search teams scoured the park where Rachel had planned to shoot. Helicopters flew overhead, combing the treetops and fields. Search dogs were brought in, their noses to the ground, seeking any trace of Rachel. Footprints were found, leading to a secluded area of the park. But the trail went cold there. It seemed as if Rachel had vanished into thin air. For days, police conducted interviews. They spoke with her friends, co-workers, and family. Rachel had no known enemies. Those who knew her described her as kind and caring, with a deep love for life. Her social media accounts painted a picture of her happiness. She seemed to enjoy her life and had plans for the future. Yet, just a few days later, a mysterious witness came forward. They were walking in the park and claimed to have seen a woman matching Rachel's description.
She was with a man whose identity remains a mystery. This witness described the man as tall, with dark hair and a distinctive tattoo on his arm. The police quickly acted, releasing a sketch of the man to the public, hoping someone would recognize him. Despite these efforts, the tips began to dry up. Rachel's family organized searches and distributed flyers around Portland. They plastered the city with posters featuring Rachel's face and information about her disappearance. As weeks passed, hope began to fade. The case entered the public's mind, but not without whispers of theories. Some claimed she left to start a new life, seeking solitude away from the pressures of modern existence. Others believed foul play was involved. As the months rolled on, the investigation seemed to stall. No substantial leads emerged. The police continued their work, but the trail was growing cold. Rachel's family held out hope and kept a steady presence in the search for her. They appeared on local news, urging the public to come forward with any information they might have. They known that someone out there must know something. The uncertainty was unbearable. Then, a strange postcard arrived at Rachel's parents' home. It featured a picture of the same park where she disappeared. The postcard was postmarked from a city hundreds of miles away, with no return address. Upon receiving it, Rachel's family felt a strange mix of hope and confusion. What did this mean? Was it a clue, or was it merely a cruel prank? They decided to hand it over to the police, yet the postcard held no concrete leads. The investigation continued, but tips dwindled. Each year, Rachel's family held vigils on the anniversary of her disappearance.
They gathered friends, family, and supporters, lighting candles and sharing stories of Rachel. The atmosphere was filled with love, but each year, the absence weighed heavily. They refused to give up hope. They wanted to keep Rachel's story alive and continue searching for answers. As time passed, the media coverage lessened. New stories took over the headlines, and Rachel Winters became a fading memory in the minds of many. But for her family, the pain was daily. They still asked the public, what happened to Rachel Winters? Each year, they renewed their pleas, sharing photos and moments, hoping to spark someone's memory. Now, nearly 3 years later, questions remain. What happened in that park on June 5, 2023? Was Rachel abducted, or did she choose to vanish? The theories continued to swirl without resolution. Some suggested she had met someone online, someone who had lured her away to a different life. Others speculated that she encountered danger, that in the seclusion of the park, something sinister had happened. Investigators decided to re-examine the evidence. They reviewed the witness statements, scoured surveillance footage from nearby shops and homes, and analyzed the postcards. They sought out new technology that could enhance details not previously visible. But despite these advancements, no concrete leads emerged. The case remained open, but it was becoming increasingly cold. Rachel's family kept her memory alive in different ways. They established a foundation in her name, aimed at raising awareness for missing persons. They partnered with local organizations to provide support for families facing similar tragedies. Their dedication was a testament to their love for Rachel, an unwavering commitment to uncover the truth. And as the anniversaries continued to pass, the case of Rachel Winters lingered in the minds of those who sought the truth. Friends and strangers alike began sharing her story online, reigniting interest in her case. Social media platforms became a place where people rallied for answers, creating forums and groups dedicated to the unsolved mystery. Each share, each like, was a reminder that Rachel was still missing, that her story was still being told. Yet, the deeper into the investigation they delved, the more questions arose. Several individuals claimed to have seen Rachel on different occasions, each sighting creating a ripple of hope and then despair as they were investigated and ultimately ruled out. New leads had a way of fading just as quickly as they appeared. Rachel's family was left with a heavy burden, each day filled with uncertainty. The question lingered, haunting those who learned of her story. What could have happened to Rachel Winters that day in the park, and why had no one come forward with substantial evidence? Many felt uneasy. Was she still alive? Or had she met her fate at the hands of another? Each unanswered question added to the heaviness in the air, thick with mystery. As winter turned to spring, the anniversary of her disappearance approached once more. The community planned a larger vigil, hoping to attract attention and renew interest in her case. They prepared to share Rachel's story, to remind everyone that she was not just a statistic, but a cherished daughter, a beloved friend. The night of the vigil arrived. People gathered in the park, where Rachel had last been seen. They held candles and shared stories of her life, her passions, and her love for photography.
It was a bittersweet gathering, filled with love but overshadowed by longing. They spoke her name into the night, each echo a plea for answers, each flicker of candlelight a symbol of hope. As the gathering ended, Rachel's family looked out over the crowd. They saw the faces of those who cared, those who were still seeking answers alongside them. They understood that they could not stop searching, could not let Rachel's story fade into obscurity. The message was clear. Rachel's disappearance was not just an unsolved case, but a haunting reminder of the fragility of life. In the days that followed the vigil, a new lead emerged. A local resident came forward, claiming to have seen a woman resembling Rachel near a bus stop on the outskirts of the city a few days after her disappearance. They remembered the details vividly and were willing to share them with the authorities. A description of a vehicle, a conversation overheard. The police took this seriously, reinitiating the search based on this information. But with each passing week, the investigation faced new challenges. The details became harder to verify. New timelines created confusion. Rachel's family remained steadfast in their pursuit of justice. They believed in the importance of keeping her story alive. They clung to the hope that someone, somewhere, would step forward. Now, nearly 3 years since Rachel vanished, the questions remain. What happened in that park on June 5, 2023? Is Rachel still out there, or did she fall victim to the darkness in the world? With each unanswered question, Rachel's case lingers in the minds of those who seek the truth, and as long as her name is spoken, her story will not be forgotten. For Rachel Winters, the search continues, a mystery yet to be solved.